What's up, everyone? My name's PlatinumHowler, coach of your Delta Gligars. Today we are bringing you week 3 of the NCL. We are going up against Gareth and his Hamilton Torracats, a fellow Canadian. Always fun to face fellow Canadians, especially ones that I have not faced before. So, Gareth coming into this match is 0-2. He made a couple of, actually quite a few transactions. He made 4 transactions heading into this week. And I actually don't remember what all of them were off the top of my head. I know that he used to have Mega Camerupt and now he has Mega Garchomp instead. Yes, that is a Mega Garchomp on your screen. You probably could have seen that if I were showing you his team and in the team builder portion, but for this week, this was another one of those weeks where I did not make time for myself to build, and I basically relied on my front office to do everything for me, which is not ideal. It's not how I wanted to do it, but it's just how it turned out. In this particular week, I did not find the time to build for myself. So, yeah, I think other things that he has on this team that I know that he did not bring. He has a Deoxys Defense, which is a really cool mon that's not allowed in some leagues. That is in this league, and he picked it up as a tier 2, which I think is really good. He also has a Serena that didn't come. He has a Swellow that's really fast and hits really hard. Yeah, anyways, his team is really threatening. I think his draft is really, well, not necessarily his draft, but his team now, post-transactions, I think is quite good, and I think it puts him in a position to make a good run late in the season to try to get in the playoffs. Anyways, you can see the team that I have on the right side of the screen. There weren't a ton of changes that I made to the original team that the front office came up with. I did change the Greninja from, I think it was Wise Glasses initially, and I just changed it to Specs because I thought that I needed as much damage output as possible against his team. Especially against stuff like Deoxys Defense, which is, just really fat. I changed the Bronzong to be a Rocky Helmet set. We have a little bit of speed to try to make sure that we're actually faster than his Melmetal. This is really the only switch-in we have to a Melmetal. Melmetal, very scary Pokemon. You need to make sure you have switch-ins to it because it is so bulky and it hits so damn hard. It's really difficult to deal with. Yeah. We have a Nasty Plot Thundurus as well, and a Dragon Dancing Haxorus. Those are 2 potential things that we have to try to win the game for us. If we can get Greninja to break with its very powerful Choice Specs boosted attacks, then hopefully one of them can win. Yeah, that's the plan. I can't really explain too much about the team because I didn't build it. I made a few changes. As it turns out, these are the same 6 mons from the week 2 game. I did not change any of the mons that were given to me by the front office, whereas last week I did change one of them. The front office build had Donphan, and I changed it to Mega Venusaur. Anyways, enough about last week. Let's get into this game here. I just want to lead with Greninja because it hits everything on his team super hard right out of the gate. And the one thing that probably I didn't want to see leading off was the Zapdos, because Zapdos I know for sure is bulky enough to survive any hit from Greninja, even with Specs. Now, if I got if I already had transformed into Ash-Greninja and got my boosted stats, my boosted special attack, I gained 50 extra points in special attack. Once I get a kill with this, then I probably could kill it with a Specs Ice Beam, but I'm not Ash-Greninja yet. So I should probably switch out. The smart play would be to switch out because Greninja is a phenomenal Pokemon and is not something that you want to sack on turn 1. So I implore you not to ever make this play that I made. don't sack Greninja on turn 1 of the game because it puts you in a horrible position and basically makes any chance you have of winning the game very hard. My thinking was I just didn't really feel like switching anything into a Volt Switch, because you look at my team, there are no electric immunities. There are a couple resists in Haxorus and Mega Venusaur, but that just means that he gets free momentum into whatever he wants that has a good matchup against whatever I bring in. So, honestly, what I should have done is probably just gone into the Mega Venusaur, played it safe, make sure that I didn't lose my Greninja on turn 1 of the game so that I could have it to come in and click attacks more freely against other mons on his team. And then if I got my Ash-Greninja form, then I could be even more deadly against his team. But nope, I made the stupid play, sacked it on turn 1. Yeah, this so far you are learning what not to do in Pokemon battles from this channel. Yeah, so the smart play would have been to just go Venusaur, because I can take on most of what he has here pretty easily. There isn't a ton that forces me out right away, and even if I have an unfavorable matchup against whatever he would want to bring in against the Venusaur, I had Sleep Powder on it, so I can try to put whatever's in front of me to sleep, and that would help me deal with it a lot better. I could click Synthesis to heal any damage that I might take from like Melmetal's attacks or Gengar's attacks or anything like that, or make a Garchomp's attacks. I could heal all that damage off. Their Pokemon would be asleep, and then I could, switch into something else to deal with their Pokemon better. So that's what I should have done. Make the safe plays early in the game. Do not sack your offensive threats early on, because if you run out of offense too early, then you're just not going to have enough offensive pressure to break through your opponent's team. Anyways, continuing on with the game. Thundurus is here. I can click... actually, what do I even click here? Yeah, I click Dark Pulse because it would kill the Zapdos that's in front of me and anything. And nothing particularly wants to switch in on Thundurus. Aside from this Garchomp, and any chip that I can get on the Garchomp is really nice, because on the next time it comes in, if I get a Nasty Plot up, then I could potentially kill it with a +2 special attack Dark Pulse. However, not if he Mega Evolves and gains some extra bulk. So we probably do need a tiny little bit more chip damage on this thing before we can pick it off with a boosted Dark Pulse. So now I'm going to make the switch into Mega Venusaur, the bulky Pokemon which can take hits and help weaken the opposing team for offensive mons like Greninja to do well. So he is actually going to choose to Mega Evolve, which he didn't have to do right off the bat. This is not a first turn Mega League, and Garchomp is one of those Pokemon that actually benefits, depending on the game situation, it can benefit from choosing not to Mega Evolve right away, because it actually loses 10 points in speed when it Mega Evolves, but it becomes a lot stronger. It gains like 40 points in attack, and it gets some extra points in its defenses as well. So it's now bulkier, a little slower, but still, for example, if he stayed in his regular form, he could outspeed my Haxorus, because he is naturally 5 base points faster than my Haxorus in his regular form. However, in his Mega form, he is 5 base points slower than Haxorus. So by choosing to Mega Evolve, he becomes bulkier, but he now is guaranteed to be outsped by my Haxorus, and Haxorus can, from this range, definitely knock it out with a super effective Dragon Claw. So that's important to note. He clicked Crunch, expecting my Bronzong to be a potential switch-in to the Garchomp, but I need to keep Bronzong around to switch into his Melmetal, because that Rocky Helmet damage is the best way I have of chipping his Melmetal down once that thing hits the field. So Mega Venusaur comes in. I am clicking Sleep Powder here. Earthquake does a lot of damage to me. Thankfully, Sleep Powder connects, and I can now click Synthesis to heal off that damage that he just did to me. I should let that roll. So now the threat is here. Melmetal, not something that Venusaur can deal with very easily, unless it has Earth Power, but this Venusaur does not have Earth Power. It has dual status, Synthesis, and Giga Drain as its only attacking move. So I'm not in a good position to take on Melmetal at this point. I do have Sleep Powder, yes, but Sleep Claws is a thing, and I believe on these Showdown servers, even if you tried to put a second Pokemon asleep, which you're not allowed to do, it would, I'm pretty sure the move would fail automatically because you would be trying to break Sleep Claws. So I think there's like a built-in Sleep Claws bot in the Showdown server. I'm not positive about that. You generally don't see veteran Draft League players activate that bot. So, yeah. I can't put the Melmetal to sleep. If I could, this would be... If the Garchomp wasn't already asleep, then I could put the Melmetal to sleep, and it would probably be a lot easier for me to deal with at this point. Anyways, I have to pull the switch into my defensive check, and he makes a very good play, clicks Darkest Lariat, expecting my Bronzong to come in against this thing. And the reason why this is a really good play, even though Double Iron Bash, his extremely powerful stab Steel-type move, would still do probably about as much damage to my Bronzong as Darkest Lariat did. Not quite as much, but it would for sure be a 2-hit KO, given that this is clearly a choice-banded Melmetal. So the reason why that's a good play is because Double Iron Bash, it hits 2 times. So for each time it makes contact with Bronzong, he loses a 1/6 of his health from the Rocky Helmet. So instead of losing a 1/3 of his health from clicking Double Iron Bash, he only loses a 1/6 of his health by clicking Darkest Lariat. So that's a good play that he made. And it's really important because he is banded, he can only click Darkest Lariat. So even if he wanted to click, if he were not banded, let's say, and he clicked Double Iron Bash there, then he could change up his moves, click Darkest Lariat to make sure that he takes less Rocky Helmet damage while knocking out my Bronzong. But, he had to make that prediction because he can only click this one move while Bronzong is on the field right here. So the little bit of speed EVs that I threw into my Bronzong to make sure that I outspeed this is going to help out here because I choose to set up my rocks hoping that his Zapdos would not be heavy-duty boots. If the Zapdos is heavy-duty boots, then he can still come in on rocks and click Roost to heal its HP and still do a lot of work against my team. However, if he is not boots, then once he switches into the rocks, it will die because it is below 25% health at this point. And Zapdos being weak to rocks, Pokemon that are weak to rocks lose a 1/4 of their health to rocks. Arcanine as well is another thing that would lose a 1/4 of HP to the rocks. I no idea if that thing's going to be heavy duty boots as well. I guess we'll find out later in the game. I wanted the rocks up more so for the Zapdos to make sure that it couldn't come in later in the game. So I have to go back into this Venusaur. I really don't have good ways to deal with this Pokemon right now. It would be a lot scarier for me to go up against if he were because I know he's choice banded, he has to click Darkest Lariat, and that is not going to be doing over 50% to Mega Venusaur. So theoretically, I could take this Melmetal on 1v1 while it is locked into Darkest Lariat. So he's going to switch out and go into the Zapdos. He's heavy duty boots. Giga Drain doesn't kill him. Even Giga Drain was my best play there to, maybe if I got a critical hit, then I could have killed the Zapdos, and he wouldn't have been able to regain all of that health right there. But at least I got a Toxic off on him, and he's going to click Roost again to get all the way back up to full HP. And me thinking that he might try to attack me that turn, because I know Zapdos now gets Air Slash, which is a pretty strong, well, at least it's not really strong, but at least it's stronger than the flying type moves, at least special flying type moves that it had access to prior to Generation 8. Yeah, so now the fact that it gets Air Slash now, it means it's a lot more threatening a Pokemon against Mega Venusaur now than it used to be. So I was thinking, just in case he tried to attack me there, I want to make sure I click Synthesis and recover that health, so I can keep my Venusaur around for longer and try to get his Zapdos to lose more and more HP from the Toxic that I just inflicted on him. However, he just decided to click Roost that turn, and now this turn, now that he's much higher HP, he's going to click the Air Slash. Doesn't do too much damage to me, but he does flinch my Mega Venusaur, so I don't get any damage off against him. However, on this turn, he is going to switch out, as I am clicking Synthesis to make sure my Venusaur is healthy enough. And now that this thing is back on the field, it can click Double Iron Bash and just completely destroy Mega Venusaur. Thankfully, I lived the one hit, but I'm not living many more hits from a Choice Band and Melmetal. Very, very scary Pokemon to go up against. My only play now, I wouldn't say my only play, but what I'm hoping for now is that because Thundurus actually resists Double Iron Bash, that I can live one. I resist it, but I still almost die to it. I had a chance to die to that, actually. You saw the second hit from Double Iron Bash did 50%. So if the first one did 50% too, then Thundurus would just be dead. But I click Nasty Plot now. If nothing on his team has if he's this actually has a chance to sweep through the rest of his team depending on how he is built to take me on. If he is not anyways, we'll get into that. I'm trying to explain a little too much at this point. But it's good that I live the hit and I can KO this Melmetal so that it's not wreaking havoc on me anymore. And as soon as this Pyukumuku comes in, I should have realized two things. Well, I definitely realized one thing. This is 100% innards out Pyukumuku and instead of Unaware. Those are the two potential abilities that it gets. Innards out, if Pyukumuku dies to any attack, say it has, at this point, say it has 200 HP left, because it doesn't have a very high HP stat. Say it has 200 HP left. If I kill him with a Thunderbolt right here, his ability is going to cause me to lose 200 HP. And I definitely don't have that much left. I'm at 3%. So if I kill him with an attack here, then my Thundurus will go down. But I don't have another play but to just get rid of this thing, because at this point, the odds of me winning this game are very slim. If I can just make sure that this Pyukumuku is gone and reduce the differential that I'm losing in this game, then I'll be happy. This is, for a team that I did not build myself, if I can keep the differential down to, make sure that I don't lose 5-0 and maybe I can, every Pokemon that I kill at this point, even if I don't end up winning the game, is a positive for me. It's a lot better for me to lose 2-0 or 3-0 than it is to lose 5-0 at this point. So the Thundurus KOs Pyukumuku, and Pyukumuku in turn KOs my Thundurus. I am down to 2 Pokemon left. Arcanine takes on both of those Pokemon pretty well, so Mimikyu is going to come in and just embarrass itself in front of this Arcanine. The reason I brought Mimikyu in is because my only chance of winning this game at this point is with Haxorus, and yes, Haxorus has Lumberry. I can take a I can take a burn and immediately heal myself. However, I didn't want the Arcanine to get an Intimidate drop against me because I wanted to be able to bring the Haxorus in after Mimikyu has died, because Mimikyu at this point in the game is never beating Arcanine. It's never going to happen. So Mimikyu is just here to like do no sorts of damage at this point, and just here to die until like buy some time for Haxorus to come in and maybe try to win the game. So he's gonna make some interesting plays here. I'm not sure if these were the optimal plays that he could have made, but I definitely understand why he did them. So he clicks Toxic with his Zapdos against my Mimikyu that is already burned and can't be statused again. And the reason he does that is because he wants this Zapdos to be dead. He does not want to give me an opportunity to bring in my Haxorus against his Zapdos, because then Zapdos is something that Haxorus can set up pretty freely against. He wants to bring in something that's more offensive, that doesn't let Haxorus set up as easily. So he is intentionally letting his Zapdos die here so that he can bring in his Gengar to kill my Mimikyu. My Mimikyu is normally would be a threat to Gengar because I have priority, a super effective priority move to hit it. However, I am burned and at -1 attack, and so that does absolutely nothing to him, and he will be able to knock me out with the Shadow Ball. So, because this Gengar did not come in against my Thundurus when it was boosted up, and instead he brought in the Pyukumuku, that should have tipped me off that this was not a Scarfed Gengar. Thundurus naturally outspeeds Gengar by 1 point. If he were wanting to, KO me with KO the Thundurus with Gengar, he would have brought it in only if he was Choice Scarfed. So I decide not to click Dragon Dance here because I was thinking, if I click Dragon Dance and he turns out to be a Scarfed Gengar, then I just lose a differential point. I just want to make sure that I get rid of this Gengar and keep the loss to at least a 2-0, right? However, I definitely should have clicked Dragon Dance because of the fact he didn't bring Gengar in against Thundurus. That was enough information for me to deduce that he was not going to be Choice Scarfed. So it would have been safe for me in that scenario to click Dragon Dance. And if I get the boost and attack, then it's possible I have a chance to KO an Arcanine, right? With super effective Earthquake. And I don't know what Arcanine's got for moves outside of Flamethrower and Will-O-Wisp. I don't know if he's going to have Morning Sun as well. Perhaps he has Extreme Speed priority to knock me out. Or maybe Flamethrower is his only attack. Maybe he has Roar. If he has Roar, then he can roar a Haxorus out and prevent it from just setting up for free. But if he did have Roar, then it would fail because I don't have any other Pokemon still alive that he can roar me out into. So instead, I just clicked Dragon Claw to KO the Gengar. I knew that any move that I clicked for, whether it be Dragon Claw or Earthquake, actually Poison Jab wouldn't have killed it, but I knew that both Dragon Claw or Earthquake would have been enough to KO Gengar. And because Gengar has the Cursed Body ability, I wanted to make sure that I chose the move to knock it out that I was most okay with getting disabled to take on the rest of his team. I had no chance to win the game if I clicked Earthquake to knock out the Gengar and he disabled Earthquake, because I need Earthquake to hit his Arcanine super effectively, and if I have any hope of winning this game, I need to get a critical hit with said Earthquake. So that's my way of winning the game. I don't think I don't think not clicking Dragon Dance there was actually the worst play for me to make, because I think regardless, as it turns out, he has Dragon Pulse to knock out my Haxorus. Regardless, I needed a critical hit with the Earthquake to win the game. So it didn't matter whether or not I clicked Dragon Dance against the Gengar or not. Anyways, so the Arcanine comes in, knocks me out. Yes, my Dragon Claw was disabled. If he brought in the Mega Garchomp, then it was still asleep. It hasn't taken any sleep turns yet, so it's guaranteed to be asleep for at least one turn. There's a decent chance that it stays asleep for a second turn as well, so I basically get, I hope that it stays asleep for as long as possible, and I can click Earthquake until Dragon Claw is not disabled anymore, and that would then be my strongest move to hit the Mega Garchomp. But very well played game by Gareth. He full marks for the win in this game. Congrats to him for getting his first win of the season. If there's anything to take away from this game, it is the importance of building your own teams and not relying on others to, even if they are much better team builders than you are. It's very important that you build your own teams if you're wanting to perform your best in Draft League matches, because you can be given a team that in practice is really good, but if you don't know how it works, if you don't know how to use the team, then it's useless, right? If you are the one playing the game, that you have to have a solid idea of how this team is going to win the game for you to use it well. And if you don't, then if you stare at it and you're like, I don't know how this team is going to win me the game, then you have a problem, right? So if it's important, like, you can build your own team. It might not be as good as a team that somebody else builds, but somebody else is going to have a different plan for how they want to win the game than you might have, So build your own teams. Come up with your own game plans. Don't rely too much on the help of others. Getting some people to help can be good sometimes. It can be good to, to point out some small things in your build that you may have overlooked, but not to build entire teams for you. That's not something that you should be relying on. Anyways, I think I've gone on long enough for this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, comment down below, subscribe to the channel to keep up with all of our Draft League content, and we will be back next week for a full Team Builder plus battle for week 4 of the NCL. Hope you're looking forward to that. See you next week.